And you should never ever look at it as a why should I post this or who's gonna watch this. It's why wouldn't I post this? Who wouldn't love my content? Hey y'all, if you didn't already know, my name is Shay Nicole XO across all social media platforms. I'm a full-time lifestyle content creator. I love making content about marriage, motherhood, self-care, beauty, just all the girly things. But I decided to use this platform specifically to help current and aspiring content creators because I know y'all need some help. My main focus with doing this series about how to become a content creator, how to become an influencer, is to be the mentor or big sister or friend that I wish I had when I started my content creator journey. Because you ain't gotta tell me, I already know it's hard. And just to give you a little bit more context into my own personal journey, I come from a background of education. So I started off working in higher ed, then I moved over to K through 12 as a high school counselor, and then I transitioned into working in tech, like in the ed tech space. And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start my own brand. So I was a secondhand reseller, which means I was really into like thrifting and secondhand boutiques, going to consignment shops and reselling clothes and accessories. I was just all about the fashions, and I still am. And from there, I decided, you know what? I don't want to just be stuck in this box and in this niche. I want to venture over into other things. So I started getting into lifestyle content creation, and y'all, it changed my life. And now a few years later, after I've seen all that I've been through, all the highs and the lows, I am committed to helping other content creators. This video is actually part 3 in a series that I've been doing, trying to just drop gems and give genuine, realistic advice that you can implement starting now. So first off, let's get into some milestone celebrations. I recently hit not only 200,000 followers on Instagram, but then I turned around and hit 300,000. And today I think I'm at like 355. Let me go check. Correction, I am at 358,000 followers. That is so insane to me because y'all, on November 30th, I hit 190K followers, and I asked my audience, shout out to my good girl tribe over on Instagram, and I posted, will we hit 200K by the end of the year? And 98% of them said yes. 2% said I don't know, so I guess they didn't really believe in me, but honey, I believed in myself. I pushed, and tried some new strategies, tried some new things that definitely worked that I can't wait to share with you in this video. And y'all, we literally hit 200,000 followers right before my birthday. My birthday is December 16th. So we're talking in 16 days, I grew 10,000 followers. Like, how? What? That's unheard of. Then right after that, I turned around and hit 300,000 followers in less than 30 days. Like, again, it sounds crazy until you do it. It sounds crazy until you make it happen. And now I'm here to share some growth strategies and again, some realistic advice for you all, because literally this morning I was looking at my data like, let me just see what I've been doing over the past like 90 days. And then I filtered it down to 60 days. So in just 2 months, y'all, look at this. I'm putting it on the screen so we can both look at it together. In only 2 months, I gained 178,533 followers. Now, of course, because you're gonna lose followers, which is a good thing. I've explained that in my past videos, go check them out. But I lost 14,575 followers. Cool, we don't want them here. We don't, and that's no shade to the people that left because maybe I wasn't the content creator for them. You never wanna hold on to followers that don't really wanna be there. It doesn't make sense. Let them go, let them move on, and let them make space for the new followers that are coming in that actually like your content, they look forward to you posting, and they're going to engage in your content. There's no point having a bunch of ghost followers, okay? So again, I lost over 14,000 followers, cool. So that brought down my average to, I gained 163,958 followers. Like, again, 163,958 followers, y'all, in only 2 months, in only 60 days. Whew. Let's get into it. All right, first and foremost, before we get into strategies and, tips and all the gems I wanna drop, I need y'all to, and I always start all of my videos like this with a reminder. I need you to get into the mindset that you already are a full-time content creator. You already are an influence. You hold influence in you and exude it every time you walk out the door. How many times has someone stopped you and asked, where'd you get that sweater? Or, oh my God, what are you using in your hair? Oh, you smell so good. What fragrance is that? I mean, people probably ask you questions about any and everything. And the fact that someone values your opinion because they like something that you have on, or they like something that you've been speaking about, whatever it is, that means that you hold influence, and that is a power, that is a superpower. But I'm here, of course, to show you how to monetize it so you can turn it into not only a successful brand, but a lucrative career, okay? Because we already know, y'all, followers do not equal dollars. You could very much have 10,000 followers and not have $10,000, okay? So let's get into mindset before we talk about content creation and all the strategies and things. When we think about mindset, we have to get focused, okay? A lot of us are still operating as consumers and not content creators. And what I mean by that is you're gonna have to purge your page. That is step number one. Purge your page. A lot of you are following way more pages than the number of pages that follow you. And first of all, if I'm looking at your page at a first glance for the very first time, I've never seen you before, I'm a complete stranger, I don't know your brand, I'm already gonna look at you a little sideways because, if you are a creator, a content creator, and you're busy, you know, all about your brand, you're posting how you should be, then how are you following 5,000 pages and you only got 3,000 followers? That doesn't even make sense. To me, and to the average person, you're not coming off like a full-time content creator, you're coming off like a consumer. Consumers consume. A consumer is someone who's gonna be using social media for leisure, for entertainment. They're scrolling all day. They are consuming content. They're not busy creating the content. But a content creator is busy putting in the work. You should be using your social media, of course, for leisure from time to time. Of course, you know, everyone likes to catch up on the blogs and celebrity tea here and there. But your main focus right now, while you are in grind mode to build your brand, should be to create. You ain't got no time to be sitting around and scrolling and seeing what everybody else is doing. And another reason that you wanna do this purge is because you need to get rid of all these accounts that are taking up space on your page that A, you're not really interacting with, and B, it's not bringing you a source of inspiration or motivation. I know it can sound cliche when we talk about using social media as like a virtual vision board and how you wanna curate your feed to inspire you and push you and motivate you, but it's actually true. There's a reason why you probably have heard that piece of advice a bunch of times, and I'm here to piggyback on that and tell you the same thing. For me personally, I don't even think I follow 1,000 pages. I think I follow, let's see, I follow 980 people. 980 pages, some of those are businesses and brands. Most of it is people I actually know. And I do this for a specific reason. I don't have time to play games on social media. Like, of course, I love the fact that it's great for entertainment. I love the fact that I can consume content as like a normal person. But at the end of the day, I'm about my money. I'm about my bread. I gotta get my coins. I am a working wife and mother. So I just don't have time to use social media for leisure. So when it comes to doing your purge for your page, I want you to focus on, and I want you to start right now. Y'all know I love to give homework. I'm a former educator. Tonight, start unfollowing any page that doesn't bring your timeline value. So what this means is all the people from high school you ain't talked to in God knows how long, all the people that you used to work with at old jobs, your mama and them friends, random cousins you only see at Thanksgiving, they're always posting pictures with their middle finger up or out at the club drinking, and you just are so over watching their content. Just purge your page of all the things on your timeline that do not align with your personal values and the things that you need to be consuming. And I know it can sound a little harsh, like, oh, do you want me to unfollow my cousins and unfollow my old coworkers? I'm still cool with them. Yeah. Listen, again, remember, we're talking about a mindset shift. I need you to start looking at social media as your place of business. Just like you go to your 9 to 5 and you have certain tasks to do and certain things that you need to get in the mindset to finish, like that is how you need to be with social media. You can no longer use it as just a place where you aimlessly scroll and you get your laughs on, you're sending memes. You can do all that as well at the same time, but simultaneously you need to put way more energy into building your brand. And that's not gonna come with you following all these random pages. Now, another part of this purge process is to unfollow all celebrities. Unfollow all of these people that have public pages, like they're public figures. So if you wanna go check to see what Rihanna is doing or your favorite rapper or your favorite actress, if you wanna see what these people are doing randomly, you can go at any time. Their page is never gonna be private. There's no point in you following all these celebrities because again, you gotta be focused. Your timeline needs to be curated to perfection where you are only focusing on the things that are gonna bring you inspiration to go and create more content, go and strengthen your brand. Now, of course, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite, okay? Because I do follow Beyonce, Michelle Obama. It's a couple of queens that I have to follow and support because I just love them. But I'm also in a different position now where I can use social media a little bit more in the leisure department than I used to. Why? Because I built my brand up to a large platform where it is making money for me in my sleep. But you, my friend, are not at that position yet. I'm trying to get you there. So think of this purge as just a temporary process, except for all the negative people and the trifling drama, all these pages that you follow that literally you just don't need to be following in the first place. Those people, you'll never need to follow them again. But for all the random celebrities and blogs you follow, child, let's just do a focus. Let's just do a good 90-day cleanse of your timeline. And then later on, maybe at the end of the year, once your brand has built up, then you can go back and follow some of those pages, okay? Do we have a deal? Good. Another part of this purge process is you being selective with the type of content creators that are in your niche or in your genre that you follow. And what I mean by that is you don't want to overconsume too much content that is similar to what you're trying to put out, because then you're going to find yourself doing that old faithful comparison thing again. And we already know that comparison is the what? The thief of joy. And what I mean by that is if you're sitting, scrolling, and comparing yourself to other content creators who are pretty much doing the same thing you're doing, or they're trying to put out the same type of content that you're creating, eventually you're gonna start connecting certain dots that aren't really there. You're gonna start getting in your own head, you're gonna get analysis paralysis, and you're gonna start making up scenarios that probably don't even exist. Like you're gonna see someone who has this, I don't know, picture perfect, curated lifestyle content, and then you're gonna look at your content and start poking holes in it, like, oh, my hair didn't look as good here, oh, I don't really like how my kitchen table looked. Dang, she has a really nice living room set. My living room set is really old. Like, it doesn't matter what field of content you're in. If you follow too many people who are doing the same thing as you, it's natural, it is human nature. You will start to compare, and it's only gonna go one way, okay? And that is negative. So when I say be selective, I mean, I want you to focus on following people who are doing much better than you, but not to the point where it makes you feel a little insecure. Because again, it's human nature, let's be honest. Sometimes we see others that are doing really well, and we start thinking like, well, what am I doing wrong? Or why can't I do this? Why can't I be like that? Or when is my time coming? You don't wanna get too caught up in that. And if you're someone that doesn't have that problem and you see other people, you're just always rooting for them, it makes you feel no type of way, cool. You don't have to worry about this. But the average person, the majority of humans, again, it's just in our nature. Sometimes we just compare. I don't want you to feel bad about it. I want you to take action. Remember, y'all, I'm a former counselor. It's just in me to meet you where you're at, okay? I have empathy, I have compassion, and I can always see why you're making the decisions you're making and why you feel the way you feel. But I'm also here to hold you accountable and push you outside of your comfort zone, okay? And for you to do that, get away from your comfort zone, you're gonna have to make some shifts and changes that may not be easy, but they're gonna help you in the long run. So I would suggest, again, following some pages just for research purposes. You know, you can look at people's content, especially the creators that are really into trends and they just have a foresight of starting trends and doing things early on. Like those are the type of content creators it's really good to follow, because it helps you to become a better content creator yourself. But at the same time, you want to be selective, okay? So I can't tell you how many people to follow in your genre and your niche, but I can say that you should just watch the number of people that you are consuming content that has to do with yours, because again, comparison is a thief of joy. And then the last part of this purge process is for you to replace all the people that you unfollow. Start replacing them with people who are content creators and are successful, but they aren't in your genre. And I got this tip from watching Coco Moco. She has a really big TikTok presence, like 1 million followers, and she also has like a podcast where she has conversations with people. And they were having a conversation, I can't remember the person she was speaking with, but they were talking about following content creators who are in a genre that has nothing to do with yours. So if you are a makeup artist, or you're trying to, you know, grow your brand on doing your own makeup, you're trying to get sponsorships, all that, then maybe you should follow someone that does hair, or maybe you should follow a successful creator that cooks. Like, I know it sounds weird, but the way they broke it down made so much sense. You want to see what successful content creators are doing that you can align your content with, but it's not like messing with your head, because you're not insecure. Because if I'm a cooking content creator and you're doing real estate, then there's no insecurities here, because we're in two different fields, right? Again, it's human nature sometimes for us to compare and feel a little discouraged. So that's number one. It blocks out the opportunity, hopefully it will block out the opportunity for you to feel any type of insecurities or feel like, you know, you're not doing enough. That's number one. Number two, it helps you to think outside the box and to figure out, okay, Although obviously, I'm a real estate agent and this person is cooking, but they're a successful cooking page, what is it about their storytelling that I'm not doing? What is it about their aesthetic or the way they captivate their audience that I can implement in my content for selling houses? Because I'm trying to start a real estate page, or I'm trying to start a makeup page, a hair page, whatever the case is. You can look at other creators who are successful and pick up things based on their work ethic, pick up things based on their habits, their consistency, and implement it into your own content strategy. It kind of reminds me of how, like, when you see celebrities hang out, you'll see them at parties that have nothing to do like with their careers, like how basketball players like love hang out with rappers, and singers will be with actresses, and actors, like, you always see successful people mixing and mingling. That is because they are all successful in the entertainment industry, and although they may not have the exact same gift, their work ethic, their resilience, their ambition, their drive, it's all the same. And they're probably all in the same tax bracket. So that's just the final part of this purge process. As you are removing pages that have no business on your timeline because they're not bringing your page value, I want you to be replacing it strategically with great content creators that are in the same genre that you're trying to be in, but also successful content creators that have nothing to do with what you're trying to create. Okay, y'all, here's step 2 in this mindset shift that we got to get into. I need you all to mind your own business. Keep your eyes on your own paper. And what I mean by that is, of course, it's fine to do research by looking at other content creators. And like I said, you want to take inspiration, like take what you need, leave what you don't, and all that. Like, that's great, right? But a lot of y'all are stuck in this mindset that if 1,000 other pages are doing get ready with me's, I can't. If 400 other people are doing cooking recipes or doing cocktails and hosting content with their friends, then I can't. If all of these people are showing how they learn how to do microblading and lashes and nails or whatever it is in the beauty industry, then it's too many people doing that, I can't do it. It's too many people doing that, I can't. No one's gonna follow me, no one's gonna care. All these other motherhood content creators are out here, and all these other people, they do style and they get dressed and they showcase their kids, and no one's gonna wanna see me and my family. No one's gonna wanna see me in my house. Why do y'all think that? Let me just paint this scenario for you. What if tomorrow we all woke up and we needed to go find a white tee? We, like, for whatever reason, we need a white tee. And the only place that sold white tees was Walmart. Do y'all know there would end up being a shortage of white tees in the nation? What if the only place you can get a pair of khaki pants was from Target? Like, does that make any sense? It doesn't. Like, what if you could only grocery shop at one store? What if you could only get lipstick from one place? Like, y'all have to remember that there are options for a reason. I don't know why I have 57 red lipsticks from 57 different brands. I just do, okay? It's no one's business. I like Fenty. I like the Sephora collection. I like Juvia's Place at Ulta. Like, I like what I like, and I don't have to explain it. So you need to trust that your target audience will find you and that they will like what they like, and they don't have to explain it. And why are you even looking for an explanation of why someone would want to follow you? That is imposter syndrome speaking. That is your lack of confidence, and there's no place for that here on your content creation journey. I need you to get out of your feelings and into your bag, okay? You have been wasting way too much time worried about what other people are doing and how they're saying that the market is oversaturated. They're saying that everyone wants to be an influencer. Yeah, that's what they're saying, but who cares? Like, none of those thoughts are conducive to what you're trying to do right now. I need you to listen to me closely when I say this. You being scared to post and share your journey and show your testimony, you could be stalling someone else's breakthrough. All of us have a journey to share. We've all been through things, and a lot of us come from similar walks of life, and there is so much value in your content, and it's just sitting in your drafts. Why? Because you have imposter syndrome. But yet, for those of us who are posting, we are helping to transform and shift and really change people's lives, because we're not sitting around wondering, well, what if people don't like it? Or, oh, there's so many other people doing it. What if people look at me and think I'm doing too much? No, we're not letting any of that stop us. Why? Because we are on assignment. We are on mission. We believe, well, I believe, and you should believe in purpose-driven content. I don't care if you're trying to sell houses as a real estate agent, you are a therapist trying to get some people to come on your couch so you can get these appointments, you can help and do therapy. I don't care if you are doing nails, hair, if you fix computers for a living, if you're trying to get a dog walking business started, or if you want to be a motherhood influencer, it doesn't matter what you are trying to do. You have a purpose in the content that you're trying to put out. But the issue is you're scared, and rightfully so. I don't want to minimize your feelings. Again, I'm always going to lead with empathy and compassion, but I'm also here to get you together and hold you accountable. Let me give you an example because, again, I'm a former educator. I like to make sure you have a clear visual, okay? So I was pretty much pushed into this full-time content creator lifestyle because I got laid off of my job at 6 months pregnant. And honestly, y'all, I just didn't feel like doing a bunch of interviews trying to find another job right before giving birth. I mean, yeah, I had a good, almost 3 months to prepare for childbirth, but who's really trying to do job interviews during that time? Not me. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take my severance packet and try to flip this money. Me and my husband, we made it work. We had just closed on our home. It was a crazy process, but long story short, I knew one day I would have a story to tell, honey. And although while I was going through it, I didn't talk too much about it on social media, I believe God was gonna bring me through, and one day I was gonna share my testimony. So now that I'm here and I've been sharing it for the past, year and a half, almost 2 years, do y'all not think that there are a bunch of other women who've been laid off at however many months pregnant? Because there are. Why? Because I've seen it. Like, I've seen stories of women saying like, oh, I started my content creation journey because I got laid off. And some people weren't even pregnant. They're just sharing their layoff story and how, it catapulted them into content creation. A lot of people got laid off during COVID, and content was the only avenue or resource of income that they had. So best believe I see all of this all the time, right? But do you think that it stops me from sharing my own personal journey and testimony? No, it doesn't. Because for one, I am one of a million creators that are making this type of content, but it doesn't mean that all of those videos that other content creators are making are gonna reach the people it needs to reach. Think about it, right? The algorithm shows content based on, whatever mathematics system there is. I decided that I wasn't gonna let anyone else's journey or story stop me from sharing mine, because for one, we need more people to speak out about the struggles of being laid off and having to figure it out and pick up the pieces and get yourself together even when you feel the worst. Like, you need that type of motivation. I feel like there aren't even enough people talking about the struggles of getting laid off in the first place. And there's for sure not enough people talking about the struggles of getting laid off while you're pregnant. So for one, for me to not post would be crazy because I have so much value that I can add to this topic. Why wouldn't I post? And that's how I want you to see your content. Again, it doesn't matter what type of content you're trying to create. You have value that you need to add, and you should never ever look at it as a why should I post this or who's gonna watch this. It's why wouldn't I post this? Who wouldn't love my content? Again, I need y'all to step your confidence up and get in your bag. I need you to visualize yourself as that famous YouTuber, as that multi-million-dollar brand, as the big TikToker, the big Instagrammer, whatever platform that you're really serious about growing, or if it's all the platforms. I need you to visualize yourself as if you have already made it. Again, y'all, we are no longer operating from a place of fear and feelings. We are operating from a place of strategy and intention and confidence. Now, speaking of strategy, let's start talking about your content, because that's my favorite part. I'm gonna need you to grab your pen and notebook because we gotta get into the basics first. In case you forgot or you missed it, I'm here to remind you that your content needs to be hitting one of a few different buckets, okay? Number one, ask yourself, does my content educate? Number two, does it evoke emotion? Number three, does it entertain? Is it humorous? Number four, is it nostalgic? Does it remind people of a better time or bring people back to a certain point in their life? Like, your content has to be hitting one of those buckets. I'm gonna tell you why. If your content isn't checking one of those boxes off, then why would people reshare it? Why would people engage in comments on it? Like, what value would your content be bringing if it didn't hit one of those boxes? Ask yourself. And if you're unsure about this, then I want you to think about your own consumer habits as you are scrolling through social media. What is the last reel or TikTok or YouTube short or long form YouTube video that you reshared to a friend? Or what is the last piece of content that you saved? You know how you can save it in folders like on Instagram? What's the last piece of content that you archived and saved? And what was the reason? I'm pretty sure that it was either something that inspired you, it motivated you, encouraged you. It was something that educated you. It taught you a fun fact or some type of hack. Maybe it was something with travel where you need to reference it and go back to it because it's someplace you want to vacation one day. Maybe it was this hairstyle you want to try. Maybe it was a recipe. Maybe it was just something funny you wanted to show your best friend. Maybe it was a video that reminded you of an old job you used to have and you sent it to an old coworker and you started laughing about the old days. Like whatever it was, there was a reason that you engaged with that piece of content. And that is how I want you to always analyze the content that you are creating. Is this thought-provoking? Is it entertaining? Is it going to evoke emotion of some sort? If it's not, baby, you're gonna have to take it back to the drafts and start over, or edit it, pivot into a new direction, something. You need to make sure that your content is hitting one of those boxes. My next tip when it comes to strengthening your content is to get serious about your target audience. A lot of y'all are just making content off of vibes and feelings, and you have no strategy. I always say this, like, again, we gotta get out of feelings, get into strategy and intention. Who is your target audience? Who are you talking to? Who do you want to engage? Who is your ideal customer or your ideal follower? Who is a part of this community? What are you creating this community for? Who are you trying to touch and help and support? For all of this content that you are so busy creating, who are the people it's bringing value to? I need you to sit down and write out your prototypes, right? And I'm gonna give you mine just to give you more context. So for me, I call my community my good girl tribe, okay? That's over on like Instagram and on TikTok, but mainly, you know, I post more on Instagram. For me, my good girl tribe is full of like God-fearing women that still twerk a little bit at brunch. You know what I'm saying? Like we love Jesus, but we also like to turn up a little bit, okay? We're gonna order the unlimited mimosas, but we're also very classy. We're not knocking over tables and doing too much. I make content for the moms who are struggling to find themselves and get back into their self-care routines, or who are looking to start self-care routines. They're trying to figure out how do they take care of themselves before they take care of everyone else. I make content for the women who want to be married and have a healthy relationship, but they're struggling in their single season. They may be losing faith, they may be losing their hope, and they are just looking for some inspiration that yes, I can keep going. Yes, the love of my life is out there. I have to put my trust in God. I know He's gonna find me. I make content for them. I make content for the women who are first-time mothers and they don't know what to expect. They've never been pregnant before. They're on this journey and they just need a friend, a shoulder to cry on, advice from someone who's been there. I make content for the corporate worker or the person working in education who is tired of that job and they are ready to go. They might have a side hustle where they're making some money, but it's not enough to sustain and pay all of their bills, so they're looking for strategy. I make content for the full-time content creator who is maybe new to it, or maybe they've been doing it for a while, but it's not as lucrative as they want, and they're considering going back to work. They're kind of on the fence, and they need some help. I could go on and on, but the point is, the reason that I can pinpoint my target audience, and probably how I describe some of you watching this video right now, and the reason why is because I created the content to attract my target audience, to build my community as a safe space for all of these women who make up pieces of me. The reason that I can name all of these prototypes is because I am the prototype. Like, I just described every stage of my life. All of my followers and everyone in my community across Instagram and TikTok, and even here with you all watching this now, you all represent me in different stages of my life, from when I was fresh out of college, struggling, trying to figure it out, when I first got into my career field and I was just super focused on, you know, climbing the corporate ladder and getting higher in education. And then, you know, when I went to grad school, and then when I met my husband and we started dating and then we fell in love. Like, all of these are stages where you all represent those pieces of me. And I'm not telling you that that's how you have to see your target audience, but for me, especially as a lifestyle content creator, I want to attract the same energy that I put out. And that's something you really have to think about when you consider who your community is and who you're making content for. You don't want to create the wrong type of content that's going to attract the energy that you're not serving. I was on live the other night and doing, you know, page audits, and that's when I invite people on my live. You know, they go live with me and I give them advice. I look at their page and, you know, I just give an audit. Like, I go over their page and give advice to them based on things that they should change, etc. One of the girls I was helping, she was saying that she's scared to go live because she always sees different content creators go live and it just ends bad. Like, people are, you know, going back and forth with them, or they argue, or sometimes they get them blocked or kicked off live and they're cursing and going off. And I'm like, girl, what? Like, I don't know what type of content creators you're watching or what drama is going on, but I need you to understand that when you are making content based off your God-given purpose and you are doing it the right way, you shouldn't really be attracting too much negative energy. Now, of course, there's gonna be haters. Of course, there are gonna be people that are preying on your downfall. Like, that just comes with the territory. But for the most part, I'm a firm believer that you attract the same energy that you put out. So that is why I'm so confident of going live with my Good Girl Tribe. We can chop it up for hours and I don't have to worry about any drama or any type of weird vibes or energy, because that's not what they're here for. Again, my target audience found me because I strategically and intentionally curated and posted the content that was going to help them, that was going to inspire and motivate them. So if you're struggling right now to figure out who your prototypes are or how to build your community and how to get your target audience to find you, well, first of all, you need to use your content as a way to serve. I always say that. My content has a purpose. My content literally answers the call of all the questions that everyone has about anything pertaining to life, because I'm a lifestyle creator. But you can apply the same logic to anything. Like, if you're a nail tech and you want new clients, then you have to figure out, okay, well, what type of clients do I want? Do I want the girls that only want the gel X nails? Do I want the girls that really love acrylics? Do I want more of the natural nail girlies? Do I want the girls that like press-ons? Because maybe I want to start a press-on line. Or do I want all of the above? Once you figure out the type of person you want to service, no matter what business you're in, from there, then you can start to make the content that's going to attract them. Think about the common questions that your prototype customer or your prototype follower would have. So here's another example, because y'all know I love giving examples. I know I love making style content because I do, and I want to gain some new followers that are in my target audience. I need to figure out, okay, well, what type of questions do average moms walking down the street have about style? Well, I know for a fact that the average mom is looking to get cute fast, right? Like, they got a lot going on with their babies, or even if they have grown children, at the end of the day, you a mother. So you really don't have too much time to be in the closet all day trying to figure out what you're gonna wear. So I love to post styling tutorials about elevated casual looks and how to look cute running errands. I am answering the question that I assume that other moms would have. Why? Because I had that question. Back when I was, 6, 7, 8 months postpartum, child, I was deep in the trenches of motherhood, just starting to catch up on some sleep, but I still couldn't figure out, okay, well, how do I get out the house and look cute without wasting too much time? Because I also got to give back because I'm breastfeeding, I'm pumping. Like, I got to make sure, I'm not out too long. Like, I had to strategically put myself in the mindset of my ideal follower, of my ideal target audience member. This is somebody who is struggling to get out the house and run errands, and they want to look cute, but they don't want to do too much, and maybe they're on a budget. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna show them several different ways in a whole series that I created of how to look cute on a budget and do it fast. That is a clear example of me using my content to serve, to answer a question that I'm assuming others have. Why? Because I'm putting myself in their shoes. And I want you to apply the same logic no matter what type of content you are making. It doesn't matter your niche, your field. If you're like me, you're trying to be a lifestyle content creator or an influencer, or if you are a doctor, lawyer, you sell houses, you do hair, like, it doesn't matter what you're trying to use social media to promote. You need to put yourself in the shoes of your ideal target audience member. And from there, I want you to start writing down questions. What would this person think about? Like, what would this person need help with? If I'm a hairstylist and I specialize in doing protective styles, then I'm trying to reach the people who are struggling with taking care of their hair underneath their protective style. Like, that's the whole reason they want protective style, right? So what questions would they have? Maybe they don't know how often they should get a trim for their ends. Maybe they don't know the type of products to use. Maybe they don't even know that they need a protein treatment for their hair because their hair is so brittle. Like, there's so many questions that this person would have. It is up to you to go and make the content to answer those questions. And then from there, do your research. You could also use Google. I want y'all to work smarter, not harder. Sometimes we overcomplicate things and we think that, like, oh, we need to do like all this market research and it has to be all these crazy, insane data points and analytics. No, sometimes it's something so simple as typing a question into Google, like, what questions do new moms have? What questions do people who can't cook have? Like, again, it doesn't matter what your genre is. You can use your content to answer questions, but you got to start by figuring out what questions they have in the first place. Now, your next step, after you figure out who your prototypes are, who is your target audience, you then need to write down what are your content tiers going to be. And this is really important because it's going to help you stay consistent when it comes to batch creating content. And trust me, you need to batch create your content. We'll talk about that next. So what I mean by tiers is, for me, I have marriage, motherhood, style, beauty, self-care. Those are like my 5 tiers. And for me, this is a constant rotation for my Instagram and TikTok and YouTube shorts, but mainly my Instagram. It's a constant rotation of content that I'm putting out consistently based on those things. So you're never gonna catch me like rock climbing or something random because it doesn't fit into my content tiers. I mean, unless I wanted to try rock climbing, I don't know, just because it fit under like wellness, which I guess is self-care. But either way, you get my drift. But the point of that is to stick to your content tiers because it helps you have structure. Sidebar, a lot of you all lack structure because, like I always say, you're treating your brand as like a hobby or just like an afterthought, but you need to be treating your brand and your social media presence just like you would your 9-to-5, your corporate job, or whatever other past career that you have, or one that you're working right now. You would not go up in a meeting with your boss and just sit down like, whew, well, I'm thinking about doing this. I might do that, I'm not really sure. No, you're gonna come hopefully prepared to the meeting with whatever notes you were supposed to present, or whatever presentation you had to give. You're gonna show up prepared, and that's how I need you to be when it comes to creating your content. You need to stick to your tiers. If you're a math teacher, you wouldn't be going into the faculty room doing your presentation on history or language arts. You're gonna stick to math. So I need you again to stick to your content tiers. You gotta stick to what makes sense for your brand, and that will also help you to build brand credibility, trustworthiness, and get your followers used to knowing what to expect from you. Because sometimes if you veer off too far left or too far right, or you start doing a bunch of random stuff, you can come off all over the place, and that can be a turnoff for a lot of your new followers. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you can't experiment. I think that's a good thing, especially when you're just starting out trying to find whatever your category or genre of content is gonna be. If you choose a niche, maybe you're trying to figure out what type of content you wanna create. But for the most part, when you know your target audience and what type of content you want to make to serve them, it shouldn't be that hard to figure out your tiers. Your tiers are pretty much like your content topics. So again, for example, mine is motherhood and marriage and self-care, beauty and style. But let's say you're not doing the motherhood and marriage thing. Let's say you are doing some type of other lifestyle content creation and you like to showcase your cooking, that would be a tier. Your traveling, that's another tier. Maybe you love spending time with your dog and you make cute, funny videos with your pet. So you and your pet can be another tier. Maybe you just got your first home and you want to start showing how you design and set up your decor. So home decor would be another tier. So those would be your 4 tiers that you would stick to. And those would be your 4 tiers that you would then go batch create content for. Or let's say you're a little bit more niche down than that. Like you're not a lifestyle content creator, but you're focusing like specifically on style. Either you're a stylist, an aspiring one, or you just love to get dressed and post about it. You can still use this same concept. Your tiers can be casual outfits could be your first tier. Your second tier could be all about accessories. Third tier can be shoes of the week or like shoe cam. And then maybe your 4th tier can be like a miscellaneous on like tutorials on what to wear to an event. And you can alternate it every week with what to wear to a wedding, what to wear on vacation, what to wear to a baby shower. Like when it comes to special occasions, you have a plethora of different events to style for. But the point here is you are still creating content based off of those 4 tier categories. Again, this concept can be applied no matter what it is that you're creating content about. Now let's get into batch content creation because I feel like a lot of y'all are struggling with consistency, and we all know that if you are not consistently posting, child, your followers gonna forget about you because the algorithm is not gonna show them your page. Why? Because your page is lying dormant, it's inactive. And I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. You got people that are posting every single day, all week long. Some people are even posting 2 to 3 times a day. So you cannot expect to grow your platform if you're not being consistent. I'm sorry, it is what it is. But one of my favorite ways to stay consistent is by batch creating content. So here's what you do. Pick one day or maybe 2 days, depending on how your schedule is, out of your week, and sit down and film all of your contents for all of these tiers. And that's why it's so important for you to have tiers, because when you sit down in front of the camera to do your content, you know exactly what you need to make. You may not know the exact style of content you're gonna do. You don't know if you're gonna do a tutorial or do some type of joke, or you may not know the style, but at least you know the topic. That's half the work. So again, we gotta give real life examples. Let's say right now, because it's February and you want to plan for March, right? So looking at the calendar, you see that March, it has 31 days, we already know. But as far as like the core weeks of March, there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 full weeks of March this year. So the first Monday is going to be March 4th. The following Monday is March 11th, then March 18th, then March 25th. So let's use me for example, okay? If I am going to batch create content, I can make Mondays my motherhood day, meaning that when I sit down to batch create content, If there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Mondays in March, then that means I need to be consistent to create 4 motherhood videos. Then let's say I want to make Tuesday my beauty day where I give some type of beauty tips. Okay, well, we have March 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th. So that means I have all of February to create 4 different beauty videos to take up every single beauty Tuesday of March. Then I have Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday I want to do, that's my marriage day. I talk about couple stuff, give couples advice, etc. I see March 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th. Those are all the Wednesdays in March. So that means what? Yes, I have to make 4 different videos when I sit down and batch create the content. I need to make 4 different marriage videos. And then of course, self-care is another one of my tiers. So if I want to do self-care Thursdays, then I need to make 4 different self-care videos for March 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. That is all the Thursdays in March. And then lastly, for what's my other tier? I said marriage, I said motherhood, beauty, self-care. What am I missing? I don't know. Oh, style, duh. Okay, so let's say I want to do Style Fridays. That means I need to make 4 videos about style. March 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th are all the Fridays in March. So when I sit down to batch create my content, I need to make sure I'm creating 16 videos. And that's why I said you might not get it all done in one day, obviously. You might take a couple of days or it may take a week, I don't know. It just depends on your schedule. But either way, if you want to be consistent and post every day, and really that's only 5 out of 7 days, but that's pretty decent. Posting Monday through Friday and then just take the weekend to chill or do more editing. This is a really good formula for you to stay consistent. So again, if you have 5 different tiers of your content, again, I use myself as an example, but you may have more, it just depends. If you have 5, based on my example though, then that would take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week out of March for 4 weeks. So that's 5 times 4, that's 20 videos you need to make. I don't know why I said 16 earlier, my bad, y'all. First I thought I had 4 tiers, so 4 times 4 was 16, my bad. My math be a little sus. Okay, so yeah, that means you need to sit down and batch create 20 videos, not 16. So again, when it comes to batch content creation, if we use this example, and I'm gonna put a graphic on the screen to help you out, just so you can have a visual. If you sit down and decide that you have 4 or 5, however many tiers, I want you to then go and plug into the calendar what day you're gonna post that tier on and stick to it. And no, this doesn't have to be a permanent thing, y'all. The advice that I'm giving you, this is something that I did when I was trying to grow my brand. Now I don't have to do that. Thank God I don't have to post every day, child. I still do sometimes because I like to batch create. It's just in me, like I've been doing it for so long. But if I want to take a break or if I just want to be lazy and chill around the house, I don't have to worry about jumping on my camera and editing and posting all the time. Why? Because I have done the work and I've been consistent for so long that now some of my old content is still circulating. Like the other day I had a random old video that started going viral. I'm like, this video is from like 3 months ago. But again, I have been consistent for a very long time and you are going to get there. So right now I need you to be in focus mode. I need you to be in grind mode and start getting into creating a content calendar when you are batch creating. I promise you it is a game changer. And now that I think about it, maybe I should make some type of template that y'all can download to make it easier. Let me know in the comments if that would be helpful for you, because I don't think I've ever done that before. Like I had an ebook in the past where I came up with like content templates and concepts for people to like plug in to help them out with creating different content topics, but I don't think I've ever done like a calendar where you could just plug in your tiers. So maybe that's something I should work on. Let me know in the comments if that would be helpful. Now let's get back to you batch creating your content. I know it can sound crazy, like how the heck am I supposed to do 20 videos in a couple of days? That sounds insane. It's really not. Y'all have to get into a habit of working smarter, not harder. Sometimes your content doesn't have to be as dramatic as you're making it seem. You can literally just turn your camera on and start getting footage of you doing your everyday activities, because people like to see the behind the scenes. They really like to see what a realistic life looks like for a person, because sometimes social media, not sometimes, all the time, a lot of the times, social media can just be this glamorous place where all we see is, very perfect curated content. And of course, we're all guilty of this. Like I like to show my highlights. I like to show nice edited videos. But sometimes you just need to turn the camera on when you're doing something simple as making up your bed or washing your dishes or running errands, playing with your kid, playing with your dog, like the most simple things. And consider it like vlog style, but do some storytelling on top of that. If you're a hairstylist, I always use the beauty examples because, I just love the beauty industry and I know so many people in it, it's easy for me. But if you're in the beauty industry and, you want to make content and you're just struggling with being consistent, Let's say you take your tripod to work with you, or if you accept clients in your home, and of course get their permission, or if you don't have their permission, just angle the camera where it's just focused on you. And you could be doing hair, or you're doing nails, or whatever it is, the service that you provide, and just turn the camera on. And then when it comes down to sitting and editing, you have so much footage to go back to and reference. Like, you could be creating footage throughout the whole week, and then when it's time to sit down and edit, that's when you can lay voiceovers or do text overlays and give advice, give tips. You know, when it comes to storytelling, there's so many different ways to do it. I think that right now, a lot of people are really enjoying like the get ready with me's, and it's for a reason, right? People love to watch like a progression. They love to see what you look like when you were barefaced, and then at the end you have your makeup done, your hair done, you look nice in the outfit. You know, especially for the girly girls out there, they just like to see the progress. So there's nothing wrong with doing storytelling in that matter, but make sure you are doing a variation of content. Don't get so stuck in a box where you're literally just getting dressed every day, unless that is part of your niche. You know, obviously if you're into style, that is your main content, then you know that doesn't apply to you. But for those of you who want to be lifestyle content creators and influencers, you need to diversify your content so that people can expect to see different things and your content stays fresh, it stays new. You need to become an innovator in your space. Of course, you can look for inspiration and look at other people's pages to see what they're doing, because we all do that. But you need to figure out, what are you bringing to the table that's different? It's okay if you're gonna do your hair and makeup on camera, doing a get ready with me, but what is the meat and bones and the potatoes of your content? Like, what are you talking about? A good example of this is the series that I've been doing called Hey Girl. I mean, it's not like an official series that I've titled, but I do have a highlight on my Instagram page where all the videos where I start saying, hey girl, and just talking about something random. That has been something that has helped my page grow because it's really resonating with my audience. It's like having a conversation on FaceTime. And I love doing that because it hooks people in. And we're gonna talk about hooks next, but that's something I came up with. And no, it's not new. Like, obviously plenty of people hop on camera and make it like a FaceTime call, but I believe that the topics that I've been talking about are very relatable and things that, you know, not a lot of people discuss. Like, I talked about friendship love languages and how sometimes, you know, as adult friends, it can be a struggle and a little bit stressful to maintain those friendships, you know, especially if you have long distance friendships. You know, sometimes you might feel like your friend is not being there for you and they're distant, but really they have a lot going on and they didn't even notice that you needed them in the way that you did because you didn't communicate that well. You know, I talk about things that I feel, again, like I said, are relatable and topics that you don't hear a lot of. Now, of course, there's probably 1,000 other videos on the internet that speak about friendship love languages, but again, that's not the content that I consume every day. So I want you to get in the mindset of, what is something that I don't hear about often that I'm comfortable speaking about? Because that's another part of this lack of confidence a lot of y'all are having. Some of you all are caught up trying to create content about things that you're not really experts on. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert at friendship love languages, but I feel like I'm an expert friend because I still have the same friends I had since college. One of my closest friends, we met in the 8th grade. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty decent friend. And I'm also in a sorority. I have, you know, sorority sisters and line sisters. So I just feel like I have experience with dealing with women and female friendships, and I can speak on it. I feel very confident in speaking on it. So for those of you who are struggling with feeling confident, maybe it's because the content that you're trying to create doesn't really align with your expertise, and that's okay. You know, sometimes we get caught up in what we see and we feel like, oh, we need to make content on this because this is the hot topic right now. And sometimes that's fine. You know, you can hop on a trend or hop on what's hot right now. But I always go back to what is relatable and what is something that you know you can speak on and can't nobody tell you nothing about. And for me, can't nobody tell me nothing about friendships because I have been through a lot. I'm 34 years old. You know, I've been through friendships. I've lost friends. I've gained way more friends than I've lost. And I feel like I said, it's something I can talk about. And then other things I feel like I can talk about are self-care and style. Like, I love getting dressed. It makes me feel good. I love getting massages. I love taking a day of like do nothing. I call them do not disturb days. I like to post about that. Like, these are things I'm very confident in speaking of and showing. Some of y'all are trying to create content on things and you're struggling because it's stuff that you're nervous about showing because you're not confident in it. And not only are you not an expert in that field, but you're also like uncomfortable showing it because it's something you've never really did before. And while of course it's okay if you want to, navigate new waters and try something new, but ultimately I feel like sometimes you're wasting your time. You need to focus on talking about the things that like without a doubt you are confident in, can't nobody tell you nothing, and things that you believe will resonate with people. And if you're stuck trying to figure that out, just ask yourself, well, when's the last time someone asked me for advice? And what was the topic? Like, when is the last time someone texted you and asked you a question about something that they felt like you were knowledgeable on? These are the type of questions I want you to ask yourself. Now, remember this, for those of you who missed this tip in past videos, I want to say it again. The biggest reason that you want to batch create your content and stay consistent is so that you can work on building a library of content. This is the exact strategy that I use to grow my platform, and it's also how I gained over 160,000 followers in only 2 months. It is because I have spent so much time building out all of these videos, having all of these highlights on my Instagram where you can go back and watch stuff from years ago. I mean, I have been doing it so consistently and being intentional and strategic, and I encourage you to do the same, because one day, one of your videos that you make are gonna go viral. One of the videos that you make, someone's gonna share it, someone of influence, maybe even a celebrity or someone, who knows? Like, one day, one of the pieces of content that you make is gonna go viral, okay? It has happened to me several times, and it's either gonna go left or right. It's gonna have a positive impact or a negative impact. This is what normally happens when you go viral. You go viral off of a random video, or you go viral at a time where you least expect it, and you haven't been consistent. You get all of these new eyes on your profile, and you don't sell out whatever product you're trying to sell. You don't gain a bunch of followers, or if you do gain a bunch of followers, they're not engaging with your content and they eventually unfollow you, or they stay around, but again, they just don't engage. That is because you probably didn't do your due diligence of making a library of content for them to go and catch up on. When you go viral and it ends up having a positive impact, what happens to me will happen to you. Because I already had this library of content, people started going back to old videos of mine and they were starting to catch up. I mean, I got DMs left and right asking like, oh my gosh, where have you been? I've never seen your page before. I'm so glad I found you. And from there, my community started to grow, thousands of followers every hour, and I just blew up overnight. But to some people, it's gonna look like, oh, this happens for her so fast. But for those who have been around from day one, they know this has been years of a journey, years of a process. And I'm not saying that it's gonna take you years to hit your goal, but what I am saying is that it's gonna take time, it's gonna take strategy and intention, and most importantly, it's gonna take you putting out the content. Stop being so scared to post. The longer you wait to post and get into a routine and batch create and put out content consistently, the longer it's gonna take for you to hit that goal of having this extensive library of content for people to come and catch up on. I'm trying to tell y'all from experience of me being in this space and knowing so many content creators, normally people fear going viral because usually it just doesn't have the best impact. Especially if you go viral off of a random video, maybe a trend or something you try for the first time, and it has nothing to do with your content tiers. Like as I told y'all, I'm a motherhood marriage style beauty creator. So if I end up going viral over something random, like, I don't know, cooking or something I just don't do, and I don't do often, then that's gonna suck for me, because all these eyes are coming to my page because maybe they like that recipe, or maybe they like the way I did the table setup, or something caught their attention and why it went viral. And then when they come to my page, there's not a lot of videos at all about that topic, or maybe there are some, but I haven't been consistent. Going viral can either hurt you or put you in a position to win. Now for me, it put me in a position to win because I ended up going viral off of something that I do all the time, which is my style content. But for you, make sure that you are not pressed to like jump on all these trends, and it's okay to like experiment and do it once in a while, but try to stay away from trying to do clickbait stuff and jumping on like these trending songs, like hoping and praying to go viral, because 9 times out of 10, I'm trying to tell y'all, if you're not going viral based off of something that is in your niche or in one of your content tiers, it is going to hurt you more than help you. Again, y'all, it is so important to build out your library of content. Building out consistent content means that you have the mindset of preparation. You don't know when that big day is gonna come where all these eyes are on your page. You don't know what piece of content is gonna hit, right? But if you are prepared, you have nothing to worry about. I'm telling y'all, success comes when preparation meets opportunity. And if you put that in your mindset, if you write that on a post-it, Put it on your refrigerator, like recite it to yourself every day. Get it in your mindset. I need to prepare. All these blessings I've been asking God for, all these prayers I'm doing, I'm writing it in my journal, I'm manifesting, it's on my vision board. Like, you're doing all this work mentally, but you're not doing the work actually, like physically, and doing it in real life. I need you all to get out of your own head, get out of your own way, and start getting consistent. I promise you, batch creating content and actually editing it and posting it. Cause some of y'all, hold up now. Let's talk about that. A lot of y'all will create the content and then you're just scared to post. Like, you'll create the content and then when you get into editing mode, you start second guessing yourself and you start picking apart little things that the average person wouldn't even notice. You're being way too hard on yourself. You need to give yourself more grace and know that there shouldn't be like perfect, picture perfect curated content anyway. I mean, that's one of the main problems of social media. Again, like I said earlier, we are all guilty of it. We want the content to look perfect, I know, but sometimes you just need that realness. And let's say that you don't want to wake up and just, talk in your bonnet, looking a mess, because, I'm never going to do that. Because that's not my style. I'm not doing that. I'm coming on camera looking correct. Even if I don't have, any makeup on, I'm just sitting in a robe, I'm gonna be looking presentable, right? But let's just say, you like doing the curated content, because I do too. The topics that you speak on, like I said earlier, the meat and potatoes of your content, that is what needs to bring value. And that is what doesn't need to be so polished. You need to speak from the heart. You need to give people the real. When you're doing your storytelling or when you're giving advice or you're showing some type of tutorial, just be yourself. A lot of y'all are scared to be you because maybe you haven't even fell in love with yourself yet. And that's a different topic for a different day. I think that this journey of content creation, when you really get into it, you're going to unlock another level of self-love that maybe you needed. Maybe content creation will help to boost your confidence, not just on social media and, your virtual presence, but maybe in real life. Maybe you walk around with your head down low, or you're always the friend that stands in the back. You don't like taking pictures. Maybe you struggle with confidence in other areas. I promise you, if you stick to content creation, if you stick to getting consistent, batch creating, getting on camera, talking, building up your confidence, building up your public speaking. I mean, no, it's not public per se, but it is, because you're gonna post it to the masses. Like when you're recording, like I'm recording in front of this camera right now, it's just you and the camera and these four walls, right? But when you post it, that's technically public speaking, because you are speaking to the public. Even if it's only 5 people watching, that's like 5 people coming up to you and you're talking to them. Or if it's like 100 people and you're on a stage, if 100 people are watching, that's public speaking. So again, y'all, I want you to get into batch content creation because it is going to help you so much. It's going to be a boost for your self-esteem, and it's going to make you appreciate the value that you bring to others, because sometimes when we're talking to our friends and family so much, sometimes we forget our own value. And that's not a knock to our friends or family, but they love us, and hopefully you have a great tribe where people love you and care about you. But I also understand, I'm very empathetic to the fact that some people don't have a loving tribe. Some people don't come from, a family or a group of friends that really roots for them and supports them. And I understand that as well. So I want you to also, if you're struggling with that, look at content as a way to find your tribe, find your target audience who wants to hear from you, who will appreciate you, people that show up and they look forward to what you have to say. Maybe at home, you're in a relationship where you're struggling with communication. It could be a friendship, a relationship with a parent or another family member, your partner. Sometimes content creation can be used as an outlet. It can be kind of like therapy. And I know that social media gets a bad rep and people think like, oh, it's going downhill. The internet it's cursed. But I also believe that yes, it can be a curse, but it can also be used as a blessing. It has definitely blessed my life. It has helped me tremendously in so many different areas. And I've seen the way it has changed others' lives. So I'm hoping the best for you in this journey. I'm hoping that you will take the advice I've given in this video and the past other 2 videos in this series, and you will implement it, and you will give yourself grace, and you will pour into your content as if it is your full-time job, even if it's not. I want you to treat it like your 9 to 5. I want you to show up for yourself and know that you can do this. You got this. There's nothing in the way of you achieving this dream but you. You're literally the only person standing in the way. And I want you to go ahead and move yourself to the side and get to work. Ooh, okay, y'all know I'm very long-winded, so thank you so much for joining. Please make sure that you stay tuned. I know I need to be more consistent with this series. I'm trying, y'all. Trying to balance like multiple platforms. That's gonna be a conversation for a different day, because it is very hard. Like I have built, Instagram up. I'm trying to get my TikTok up, but YouTube is another beast. Okay, I'm struggling, and I'm gonna be very transparent with you. It's hard, but I'm gonna also take my own advice and try to batch create for YouTube. Obviously, it's much harder to batch create long form videos like this, so thank you so much for your patience. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, whether it's your first time or you are not a stranger around here. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of my tribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.